Yes, indeed, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's Jay Jordan here, and today I'm going to recap last night's Liberty game against the Atlanta Dream. The New York Liberty played the Atlanta Dream on July 27th at the Barclays Center in downtown Brooklyn. It was a 7 p.m. Eastern start. I was able to catch, I was able to make it to the game at halftime. I had to work, so I was a little late to the game, but I got there at halftime. But I was able this morning to go back and watch the whole first half on Amazon Prime Video, in which the game was displayed, so I can get a full grasp of what happened. But the Liberty ended up winning this game 95-84. They win the season series against the Atlanta Dream 3 games to 1. So we won't play them again for the rest of the season unless we see them in the postseason. It was a very good game. To preface it, I will say that before this game, after the June 23rd game against the Atlanta Dream down in Atlanta, in which the Liberty won by 30, and they had the second most points they've ever scored as a team in their history against that team. Ryan Howard tweeted out July 27th, basically circling this date on her calendar for the rematch game against us. Um, and it's funny because they ended up losing, and the Liberty, the broadcast knew about it. The social media team mentioned it in the post game, in their post game tweets. So it's funny that the Liberty seem to have this game circled on their calendar as well. Okay, as usual, guys, we're gonna go into the quarters, the actual game. We'll recap the game. We'll look at the box score and the team stats. Look at some of the press conference quotes and give you my thoughts, and then we'll head on out of here. As always, guys, if you like these type of videos and you want me to continue doing these types, leave a like, leave a comment down in the description talking about the game. I like to discuss the games and the team with you guys. Hit that noti bell so you get notified whenever I post. And also, don't forget to subscribe so you get all the videos in your feed whenever I post. So for the starting lineups, the Atlanta Dream, they went back to their original starting five. I know after the All-Star break, they sort of dibbled and dabbled in between coming having Cheyenne Parker come off the bench. We didn't really get too many answers on why that decision was made, but they're back to the original. They started Danielle Robinson, uh, Allisha Gray, Ryan Howard, Nia Coffey, Cheyenne Parker, and for the Liberty, it was our typical starting five our core starting five. It was Courtney Vandersloot, Sabrina Ionescu, Benai Jelani, Breanna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones. All right, so in the first quarter, the Liberty got out to an 11-0 run to start. A big difference from that game on Tuesday against the Seattle Storm where we were struggling. But we came out firing. Everybody was touching the ball. I think the first basket was a three by Stewie. Then Jonquel hit a shot. Then Vandersloot got a layup. Sabrina hit a shot. Everybody was contributing in that 11-0 run before I think Atlanta called a timeout at 7-0 or 9-0. Um, but we went on 11-0 run to start, and we had a 16-point lead in this quarter at one point. We were clicking on all cylinders. The defense was intense. Atlanta, they were struggling to shoot the ball, but I'll give us credit on that. We only had 2 turnovers in that first quarter. But Atlanta, they cut the lead down, but we still ended up winning that first quarter 26-16. For the second quarter, it was more of the same. Our defense sort of fell off a little bit, or Atlanta's offense sort of picked up the slack. Allisha Gray started going to work. She was getting to the line. She was hitting her jump shot. Ryan Howard was really struggling. Everybody else on the team was really struggling. It was mainly Ryan Howard. I mean, excuse me, mainly Allisha Gray and Ari McDonald off the bench came in and gave them a nice spark. They went on a 9-0 run to start the quarter. So they cut the lead pretty close. I think they got it down to about 5, and then at one point they went on a 9-0 run. But Breanna Stewart, then she started to take off. excuse me, Breanna Stewart. We getting to the line. She was hitting jump shots, fallaways, turnarounds, so you name it. Breanna Stewart was doing it. She ended up with 18 points in that second quarter. So she had 18 of our 31 points in the second quarter. Finished with 25 points at halftime. We got the lead up to 18 at one point, and we finished that quarter leading 57-42. If it wasn't for Allisha Gray, this game would have been a blowout because nobody else was doing anything. Ryan Howard got in foul trouble, and she wasn't really shooting particularly well. So at halftime you expect the other team to make adjustments, and they definitely did. They held us to 16 points in that third quarter. They started on a 10-2 run, Atlanta. 10-2 run to start that third quarter, so they cut the lead down. Coach Brondello, and the only 2 points we had were two Jonquel Jones on free throws. We were turning the ball over again. We were missing shots, and their defense you could really tell their defense picked up intensity. Cheyenne Parker was all up on Jonquel Jones. She was basically trying to deny her the ball, even at the 3-point line. Um, but after the timeout, we stabilized. But were driving. We were getting fouled. They started calling a lot of fouls in that quarter, so the foul shots really kept us at arm's length from the Dream. Uh, Stewie, I think she only had maybe 3 points in that third quarter after having 25 in the first. But towards the end of the third quarter, they had cut the lead down to 5, and we went into the fourth quarter leading 73-66. Now the fourth quarter, this when we really started to pull away. We came out that fourth quarter a quick 9-0 run by Benijah Laney and Kayla Thornton. Benijah, she had been struggling all night. She wasn't really hitting any shots like that. But first play of the fourth quarter, she gets the ball on the break, hits a nice 1-2 euro layup with the left. Then I think Kayla Thornton gets a wide open layup. Then after that, Benijah gets a three in the corner, hits the three. And I think that's when Atlanta called a timeout. That was 7-0. Then I think Benijah gets another going across the lane, hits a left hand layup to give her another basket. And then she ends up hitting a three at a mid range jump shot and then hits a three. After struggling the whole game, she really came alive in that fourth to really give us the lead. Ari McDonald was trying to keep them in, and Allisha Gray was trying to keep them in it, but the damage had already been done. We outscored them 22-18 in that fourth quarter to give us the final score of 95-84, and that's how the game ended. We're gonna touch on the box score now. Very great stats from our team. We had Breanna Stewart with a double double, Jonquel with a double double. You had Sabrina 1 assist away from a double double. All of our starters besides Courtney Vandersloot scored in double figures. She played the least minutes of the starters because we're playing a game today on Friday, July 28th. We had a back to back, so we're playing the game today against the Minnesota Lynx. So they try to steal her some rest. But let's look at the box score and see everybody's stats here. So as you see, Liberty won the game 95-84, bringing their record to 18-5 on the season and 3-0 on this home stand. For the Dream, Cheyenne Parker in 24 minutes, she had 10 points and 4 rebounds. She got 3 personal fouls, a minus 24 in her minutes. She had the worst plus minus on the team. 5 for 11 from the field. Nia Coffey, I didn't even really remember her on the floor, and the stats show it: 0 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 fouls, 0 for 2. Danielle Robinson, the point guard, minus 11 in her minutes, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Nothing really to write too much home about. Allisha Gray was the star woman tonight. Even though she was a minus 14 in their minutes, she had 25 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Didn't foul once. It was 10 for 16 from the field, so really efficient for her. And Ryan Howard, nothing too much to write home about. 10 points, 4 of 17 shooting, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Her plus minus was a zero actually, so they weren't bad and they weren't good with her on the floor. They were just average. For their bench, Monique Billings, there was she had 6 points, 4 rebounds, but there was a point she had a wide open layup under the basket, missed it, got the rebound, missed it again. Two wide open layups she missed. But she was hitting like some outside 15-foot corner jump shots. Naz Hellman, I think she played a few minutes and then she went on the bike and she was on the bike the rest of the game. Only 1 point, +1 in her minutes. Letitia Amaher took up the slack for her. Naz Hellman had 2 points. Only played 4 minutes though. Ileana Rupert, the French woman, 5 points. She had a three, with 3 rebounds as well. Former Liberty AD Durr didn't play too much, only 3 minutes, 2 points. Ari McDonald was their spark off the bench, 18 points. She had three. She was 3 for 8 from the 3 point line. She was getting to the line as well. 5 assists to go with it. And Haley Jones didn't play too much, 0 points in 2 minutes of play. They really played their whole roster um yesterday. For the Liberty though, you know the vibes. But Laney was struggling early, came alive late, finished with 14 points, 2 assists, played solid defense on Ryan Howard into her 29 minutes, +19. Breanna Stewart, star, had 25 in the first half. Only scored 8 the rest of the way, but it was enough. 33 points, 12 rebounds, double double for her, 5 assists to go with it. She went to the line 16 times, made 14 of them. It was a heavy in that third quarter. She was getting fouled. 8 for 17. Jonquel Jones, since the All Star break, can't stop getting double doubles. 19 points, 13 rebounds, 7 of 11 shooting. Um, Still getting some turnovers with the moving screens, but we'll work on that. She had 5 fouls, but that didn't deter her. +22 in her minutes. Courtney Vandersloot played the 20 minutes only, 6 points, 3 assists, +23. And Sabrina Ionescu, 12 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 for 8 from the field, 4 for 7 from three. Solid game from her. Our bench, Kayla Thornton, 6 points, 8 rebounds, big minutes from her. Nyara Sabali, she missed a nice pass from Marine, went right through her hands, but she had 2 points in her 6 minutes of play. Epiphany Prince only played the last, I think, couple minutes somewhere in the fourth quarter. Didn't really contribute too much. Marine hit a three. She was missing some wide open ones, but thankfully it didn't cost us. So -13 in her minutes. And Jocelyn Willoughby starting to get more minutes now, trying to work her into the rotation. Very defensive minded though. 0 points, 1 steal, 1 assist in her 12 minutes of play. Let's take a look at the team stats now. Team stats, um, pretty even on the amount of shots we took. We took 32, they took 31, but we shot 48.5%. They shot 42.5% from the field. We shot 35% from three, they shot 30. We shot 31 threes, 11 for 31. From the free throw line, we went to the line 22 times. They went 23, but we made 20 out of our 22. They made 14 out of their 23. That gave us 90.9%. They shot 60.9%. We beat them up on the boards 39-32. They did get more offensive rebounds than us, 8-5, but we beat them by 10 on the defensive boards, 34-24. We had 23 assists on our 32 made field goals. Not as good as games past, but that's still a good ratio there. They had 18 on their 31 made. We had 3 steals to their 1 steal. They had 5 blocks on us. We only had 2. We had 13 turnovers. We had to think about 13 the last game as well. We still need to get that to 10 or below. They only had 7. They scored 19 points off of our turnovers. We scored 10 off of theirs. Fast break points, we had 9, they had 7. Points in the paint, they outscored us by 2, 34-32. We had 21 fouls, they had 17 fouls. They had 1 technical foul, which is on their coach, Tanisha Wright. No flagrants, thankfully. And our largest lead was 18. Excuse me. They never led in the game. So another wire to wire victory for the Liberty. All right, so that was the team stats and the box score for the Liberty. Solid game from them. Can't complain too much, except for that lapse in the third quarter. But we did expect that a team coming out of the halftime would come up with a different sense of urgency and try to make a difference there. We're going to look at the press conference now. There were some nice quotes from tonight's game. Just talking about the, talking about how we played, the contributions from everybody. So it was nice to see um how they responded. We'll touch on just a few. Show some here. As always, I go on Miles Ehrlich's page, beat writer for the New York Liberty. He talked about Benijah Laney. I think one of the questions they asked Benijah, um, I think they asked Coach Brondello about Benijah's contribution in that fourth quarter, and Coach Brondello said massive um, of her effort. Absolute quote, absolutely massive, a quiet first half, but she's just a winner. She just competes, she trusts and knows what she does well, end quote. And nothing else more to say about that. She really came to play in that fourth quarter to give us the victory. Breanna Stewart said, quote, we just had the mindset of no excuses. This is the way our schedule is, and this is what we have in front of us. If you think about things, you cause it to happen. So we just continue to have a positive mindset, end quote. Um, Very interesting one down here on Sandy Brondello and Jocelyn Willoughby, who played the whole fourth quarter. She said, quote, she was great. She hasn't played many minutes, but that's what being a professional is like. You make the most of your minutes. She did a fantastic job. We'll just keep building on that, end quote. Let's see what else. Yeah, this is the the tweet by Ryan Howard, the July 27th. The Liberty, of course, being petty, ended up retweeting it, which made me chuckle there. Coach Brondello, after one of the reporters or people in the press conference pointed out New York averaged 98 points per game versus Atlanta. She said, quote, we get out and run in transition. That certainly helps generating it from defense. Some games we shot the three ball extremely well. I think we've just got a lot of versatility in the way that we play, end quote. Right, so that was mainly it from the press conference. I know there was a quote on Jonquel Jones, another double double about her step back three that really stemmed the tide when they were making their run. And did want to show the actual thing here. So the Liberty tweeted out what Drake say, a little less talk, a little more action with Ryan Howard's tweet um behind our players celebrating. And then Ryan Howard, being a good sport, she said, "This is cute. When we see y'all again, gotta redeem myself for sure." Little does she know that we don't play them again unless it's the playoffs. And then she goes on to say, "LOL, I promise I'm not hiding. I'm not one to dish it without being able to handle whatever comes back. But some of y'all riding that bike a little too hard. Tonight wasn't my night. I'll be back. On to the next." So she was a good sport about it. People were probably being on her back about the quote, but uh it's good. It's good to see that she's being a good sport. She can dish it out and she could take it. Um, Thankfully we got the win. I have no complaints. I know given that we have a game today, the 28th against Minnesota Lynx. Um, I expected us to play the starters a little bit less, but we have to secure wins. That's what the conditioning is for, being able to play a demanding schedule when it allows. All right. So that's the end of the video, guys. End of the recap. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. I will have another one for tonight's game against the Minnesota Lynx. I will not be at that game. Unfortunately, I actually gave the tickets to my cousin and her daughter. My little cousin is actually getting really into basketball, and I couldn't make the game, so I gave them the tickets, and I know they will enjoy. No Nafisa Collier from what the report is tonight. Nafisa Collier is not playing. That's the person if I could go, I would have wanted to see. She's having a hell of a year, but she's out with an ankle injury from last game. I expect us to come out. I will say we'll probably come out a little sluggish, but I think our talent and our mindset will overcome in the end and will secure the W. Um, I hope. After that, we play the Sparks on Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's an away game. We go away for a while, guys. That whole of next week, we'll be away, and then we'll come play the Aces on August 6th. I will not be in town for that game, but I will try to get a recap out to you guys as soon as I can, and we'll move from there. So remember, game tonight, I think it's an 8 p.m. start down in downtown Brooklyn against the Minnesota Lynx, going to sweep the homestand 4-0. We're 3-0 so far in our homestand. 4-0, 4 wins in a row so far, so hopefully we can secure that win. As always, guys, thanks for tuning in, and make sure you hit that like button if you like the video. Hit the noti bell so you get notified whenever I post. Hit that subscribe button. Share with all Liberty fans. We're a community here on this channel. Appreciate you all. Until next time, salute.